sigh here. So after making that palette mail organizer, you know, I was feeling a little bit, I wanted to make something pretty, something cool that I thought was cool anyway. So I was thinking, we went to Pike's Place Market in Seattle, and there was a guy that had a table full of all these really cool bandsaw boxes that he had made. And I grabbed his card, and husband grabbed his card, and we both can't find it. Anyway, so I got to thinking about how he just took any kind of piece of wood at all and just made a little box. So I thought that I would try to make a box.
Welcome to Sorta.
So I had this piece of wood I thought was really cool, and I just took it to the bandsaw and started cutting away. It was an odd shape, but I was able to cut off the tops of the 3 sections and then the bottom as one big old long piece. Here's that bottom side now. It was a little bit tricky, but I got it. Then I went back and cut out the actual little box or compartment part. The blade smoked pretty well, and it didn't break here, but it did use up the blade pretty much and broke a few minutes later. It was all kind of stuck together, but I was finally able to separate it all, and I was very excited. I wanted the lid to fit real well, so the piece that I cut out I put back in there, and then I glued the lid directly to it. And then I turned that upside down and let it dry. Because of the shape of this piece, this one side was very awkward, and so I tried to take my little saw and saw to make a compartment, but I ended up breaking it off. Oops. Oh well. The other awkward side I took to the scroll saw and was able to cut a compartment, but it separated right here. So I just took that piece and continued to cut the compartment. So I just took some wood glue and I glued it all back together. Then I glued this lid to the inner wasted piece, like I did the other lid, and then I wrapped it all up in a rubber band and let it dry. I had this piece sitting right here, so I grabbed it. I cut the top and bottom with the bandsaw, then here with the scroll saw, I cut a small compartment. Then, like the other, I glued the top to the waste piece inside, and then I wrapped it in a rubber band and let it sit there to dry. Yep. Now that it's dry, I can show you how I trim the lid. I just cut this off, and it looks like this. And in my mind, it was gonna fit real snug, but it had a little play in it. Oh well. The last step was gluing the top to the bottom, and then it was done. It looks just like it did when I started. Cool. I had 1 can of polyurethane left, so I used that and I sprayed away and sprayed away, and then I remembered that I forgot to sand the very top. Rats! So I sanded it and sprayed it again. I went back to the project I started with and I glued it to the bottom. I cut the lids and they weren't snug either, darn. I decided to leave off the compartment that I had messed up on. This is where it went on the base, and it snapped off easily. I like it. So I think I'll polish up or smooth off these and sand them real well and then spray this too. So I sanded these up, but I didn't have any poly left. So I'm going to spray it up with this clear acrylic, see how that works. Once I throw the lid around first. So thanks for joining me, everybody. Just some simple little boxes that I really didn't have to do much to except cut, you know, make a hole, glue them together, spray them. Well, this one here did have that third compartment, but it broke off, and I decided to leave it off just because I couldn't make it into like a drawer-ish type compartment very well, so I just left it off. Anyway, it was just for fun, and I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It just has some compartments with, you know, holes in them, but still pretty cool. And I found a great spot for it here as a bookend. And then this one I really like because I had this piece of wood that I found somewhere, I don't know where, but you know, what are you gonna do with it? Anyway, so I think it looks pretty cool as a box. I really like it. So that's that second box. I found a spot on a shelf in the house where I put this, and it satisfied my need to make something that was kind of pretty. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!